Right now at 6, victim rights left behind. A Wisconsin woman's story of how a court system designed to protect her instead let her down.
And how one school district is using AI to add a personal touch in the classroom.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, I'm Emily Brown.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. The barricades are still up at public school entrances in Prairie du Chien. Those went up on Friday. Police say a threat was made against the district. The person accused of making that threat was arrested. We've reached out to the district to find out when the barricades plan to come down. We're waiting for a response.
Governor Tony Evers was in Eau Claire today. He's visiting Western Dairyland Head Start. It's part of the Evers administration's Year of the Kid. Evers wants to lower the costs of things like childcare. The visit comes as some Head Start programs here have struggled to access funding as a result of the Trump administration's funding freeze.
The federal government starts to renege on their end of things, and they decide in Madison not to do child care accounts. That's going to make a huge impact on our economy.
Last week, 6 of the 39 Head Start programs serving about 3,000 kids said they couldn't access payments. Well, AI is hitting Whitehall classrooms.
It's a move school officials hope will give students an edge when it comes to learning.
News 8 Now's Grace Monk has a look at how it works.
The Whitehall School District is providing students with a personalized learning experience, and that's all thanks to AI technology. Last fall, middle school students started using an AI program in math and science classes to address learning gaps.
Classrooms for a long time, there were perhaps 1 or 2 different grade level equivalents of kids in those classrooms. That number is now 9.
At the beginning of the year, students take an assessment, and the program then creates lessons based on their score. One teacher says the program has made students more confident.
Have heard a number of students comment that they didn't think they were good at math, and now that they aren't comparing themselves to other students and how they did on a certain test or a certain assignment, like they feel like they're actually good at math.
According to school officials, it has also improved classroom engagement and behavior. This semester, elementary and high school students have been introduced to it. In Whitehall, Grace Monk, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, Grace.
Well, Arcadia School District is celebrating the completion of some heating upgrades. The district installed new high-efficiency boilers and a demand-controlled ventilation system to reduce energy waste. As part of the project, the district received an incentive check from Focus on Energy. They've been assisting Arcadia with energy audits since 2005. Those upgrades, they say, will not only improve comfort in the buildings, but also expect to save the district $40,000 a year on energy costs.
They're roughly the same size, just a little bit bigger than our previous boilers. Like I said, the efficiency on them is light years ahead of what we were doing before, and the reliability and just the cost effectiveness has been a great fit for us.
Next up for Arcadia is looking to explore upgrades for the steam boiler system in the elementary school.
Those boilers will definitely come in handy this week because we're going to need them.
Big time.
Working really well, Greg, aren't we?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're going to have the snow here with the cold temperatures that are going to go on. So that's really the bigger story that we're going on pretty much through the rest of the forecast period as we kind of, if my thing gets there we go. We're going to get back over there. There we go. That's going to be the main thing. We're going to continue to build that snowpack overall. And tonight's going to be a first opportunity for some folks to get about 1 to maybe 2, similar to what we saw Saturday, but it's along and south of I-94, just starting already to occur, and then it'll stretch eastward across the area until about midnight, really. That's where most of the area will see. And you can see amounts generally very light, nothing as you go further north. Right now, that's a visibility. You can see it has come down when you're seeing 2.5 or lower visibility than 10. You're typically seeing a little bit of light snow. Preston along I-90 has seen it. Areas up to the north have also, and stretching to northeast towards the core and even down to Mason City getting that snow too. So that's eventually what we're going to see expand across the area throughout the nighttime. As you look at bigger picture, it's just behind a cold front that passed to our south. If we time it out, really, it's for the next several hours until about midnight that this area will see this light snow stretching all the way to Volksfield and then kind of sagging south after about 11 p.m. until it gets to the Wisconsin River, probably by 2 to 3. And eventually, you'll have clearing skies behind it. And that's going to be the bigger story. Overnight temperatures tonight are going to get quite chilly as we're going to see temperatures continue to get down to potentially 15 below. And that'll be the story going forward, is the cold temps, but also we have opportunities for more snow, including Wednesday and Valentine's Day. And we'll break all that down a bit later.
That mild January January is well in the rear-view mirror, it sounds
Mild
like.
and dry especially, so we're going to see quite a bit of snow here. So we're getting back to where we should be.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you. A rural Toma man charged with multiple child sex crimes was in Monroe County Court today. 56-year-old James Ostinger faces more than 20 felony charges, including repeated sexual assault of a child and child exploitation. Ostinger remains in jail on a $1 million cash bond.
2 people are hurt after a head-on crash near Viroqua. It happened today on Pierce Hill Road. Police say a pickup truck driver tried to pass several cars and hit an oncoming SUV head-on. Officials say the pickup driver is 21-year-old Robert Brand and the SUV driver is 55-year-old Kimberly Johnson. Crews flew Johnson to Amplify Health System with serious injuries. A private car took Brand to Vernon Memorial Hospital. Police say Johnson was wearing a seatbelt. Brand was not.
Shortly after 7 o'clock this morning, we got a 911 call regarding a 2-vehicle head-on collision here on Pierce Hill Road just outside of Viroqua. When our deputies had got on scene and the fire department had got on scene, it was determined that a pickup truck and a SUV had collided head-on.
The Vernon County Sheriff's Office is investigating.
Former Packers quarterback Brett Favre says he's willing to donate his brain following his death for CTE research. During an interview with TMZ Sports, he said he hopes doctors can discover new treatments for people with concussions. In 2018, Favre said he could have suffered more than 1,000 concussions during his 20-year career.
The La Crosse County Board will appoint a new supervisor tonight. Christy Tweed will take over the 24th District. Kevin Hoyer left that seat after moving out of the area. Tweed was a candidate for supervisor in the last 2 county board elections, so she'll serve out the remaining 14 months of Hoyer's term until the regular election in April of 2026.
And all week on our morning show, we're talking to La Crosse's mayoral candidates ahead of next week's primary. Vicki Markison was up first. We asked her about La Crosse's population decline.
I am concerned that we are losing population. There was a study done with some of the school conversations that there are kids being born in La Crosse, but by the time they hit school age, they are living elsewhere. Right. We have to ensure, in fact, I have friends that have done it. They lived here and now they live in Holmen and they're having a child. We have to ensure that La Crosse has a great narrative of how we're addressing all of those pieces of the economy.
And our conversations with the mayoral candidates continue tomorrow. At 6:40, we are talking with Chris Kalo. On Wednesday, Shondell Washington Spivey. Then on Thursday, Ellie McClune.
Coming up tonight, in the midst of personal tragedy, a Wisconsin woman's story about being left behind by a court system designed to protect her.
Banking should be easy. Ultra's A+ accounts put online and mobile banking at your fingertips. Plus, a contactless debit card for everyday purchases. No stress, just banking made for you. Now that's worth celebrating. Open your account today.
Around here, neighbors come together to make each other better. We're taking the same approach with healthcare. Gunderson Health System and Bellin Health have come together to form Amplify Health, giving you more of what's important in healthcare. More caring, more listening, more to feel good about on your way to feeling better. Overall, just a little more heart. Amplify Health by Gunderson. A little empathy changes everything.
It's amazing all the work that goes into growing this little guy. The research you've done over the past decades is critical to grow a good quality crop.
The UW-Madison has developed light casts to help farmers manage leaf blight before it takes root in potato fields.
I can't really overstate how important that is.
What's at stake isn't just the crop in the ground, it's the sustainability of your family farm.
This partnership really makes me proud to be a Wisconsin farmer.
One Wisconsin, on Wisconsin.
Susan Crawford. She's the prosecutor who locked up violent criminals, the judge who's kept them off the street, and the leader who fought for abortion rights. On the Supreme Court, she'll look at the facts and uphold the law. Fair, impartial, common sense. That's Judge Susan Crawford.
For me, being a judge is really pretty simple. There's right and there's wrong, and I'll always do the right thing for Wisconsin.
Unlock the door to your dream home when you apply for a home loan with Ultra. With our competitive rates, local servicing, and an expert team, we can help turn your dreams into a reality. Get started online or visit your local Ultra office. Ultra Federal Credit Union. helping you live your best life.
At 14 years old, Jamie Clark is told the unthinkable. Her father is murdered. She's sent into a tailspin for the next 29 years because she says her rights as a victim were tossed aside by the system built to protect her. As a child of divorce, Jamie Clark didn't get to spend much time with her father, Robert. When she turned 14, she planned to move into her father's home in Sawyer County.
And I was ultimately going to decide to live with my dad.
A plan that changed October 13th, 1995, when a police cruiser arrived at her home.
Approached me and my friend. We were outside playing.
It's a day Jamie will never forget.
Like somebody is really ripping your spine right out of you.
Detectives found Robert Clark shot to death in his bedroom.
I just felt like my world was at an end.
The next 2 years of court proceedings were a blur. Jamie doesn't remember much as the trials played out in court, and that may have been intentional.
Some of the brothers and sisters were listed as victims. My grandparents were listed as victims, but not me.
Her voice is never heard in court.
These victim rights that I had, even as a child, as an adolescent, were thrown away.
Those rights are spelled out in Marsy's Law. The right to be heard in court, to be notified of court updates, to have direct input in parole considerations. Wisconsin didn't adopt it until 2020, but attorneys say victims had those rights before then. No one seemed interested in telling that to 14-year-old Jamie.
And all they could say was, "I'm sorry, I dropped the ball with you." Well, you weren't the only one that dropped the ball with me. The state of Wisconsin did.
The evidence still convicts David Layton and Jared Ham, who are sentenced to life in prison.
My dad was my favorite person, and I lost him forever.
That loss is torn open a dozen years later to see a documentary on her father's murder.
But Clark came back to town carrying some heavy baggage.
I feel like I'm reliving the trauma, like it's just a nightmare that I can't wake up from.
And then the nightmare returned a few months ago when a family member said Jared Ham was up for parole.
My other family members had known about this for over a year, and I was just being informed a week before he was being released. I felt re-victimized.
Jamie says she wonders how many other Wisconsin victims have had their rights ignored.
In the early hours of a prosecution, we're mostly working with law enforcement to figure out who's been affected.
But prosecutors know it's an imperfect system.
I've had cases where I didn't even know a victim had children.
It's why Jamie wants to see legislation bridge Marsy's Law with past victims.
Even if it's just being notified, it's important.
Her one chance came with a face-to-face meeting with Jared Ham.
We couldn't explain the bond that we created, but it was such a very deep, heavy conversation. I think we're both really glad it's behind us, and hopefully it's our first step to just moving on into healing.
An extreme step that came 29 years late, a timeline Jamie Clark wouldn't wish on anyone. Now, because these rights have existed for so long, the DA's office says it's essentially on attorneys and judges to do their best to leave no victim behind. Now, for those feeling left behind in the court system, the DA's office recommends sites like VineLink. It's a free anonymous service for people to track custody status and criminal cases in general. Well, we'll have more news ahead tonight, but first,
we got opportunities for more snow throughout the week, along with some very cold temperatures. We'll time out when the snow looks like it'll happen, how much we'll get Wednesday, what those temperatures look like going for Valentine's Day and the weekend. It's all coming up on your First Warn Weather Update after the break.
We've done many, many renovations. We bought an old house and have made it into an up-to-date house. Whenever anything involves plumbing, the first call I make is to Maxwell White. Their technicians put together a great final product.
Are you ready for college but don't know where to start? CVTC's Fast Pass on Thursday, January 9th in Eau Claire and River Falls will help you take your next step. In just 90 minutes, apply, enroll, and explore financial aid. Apply for free at the event and get entered to win a $500 scholarship. Start your future with flexible, hands-on programs that will help you get to a career you love. Register today at cvtc.edu/fastpass.
In 2001, my father established La Crosse Fireplace Company. Since then, our family has had the privilege of helping families create a warm gathering place in their home. Today, my brother Jeremy and I are the second generation to carry on the values and traditions that was started 23 years ago. Whether it's a remodel or a new installation, La Crosse Fireplace Company looks forward to serving you for many years to come. La Crosse Fireplace Company, because your place is by the fire.
All right, everybody. I know it's easy to forget things, but we don't want you to miss this new deal from US Cellular. Get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus on us and stay a step ahead with Galaxy AI.
Ooh, I can save enough to buy a gift for my understanding wife.
Sorry, I'm late. Ooh, that's a great deal. I have a facial. This was fun.
Oh, come on. You have flowers?
Get the new Samsung Galaxy S25 Plus with Galaxy AI on us. US Cellular, built for us.
A new year and a new adventure with the perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. With pure power unleashed and future-forward technology. Because every mile matters and every path leads to new possibilities. Get $3,250 total cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, current Chevy owners get an additional $2,500 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit HometownChevy.com.
With a tankless system, you can have unlimited hot water whenever and for however long you need it. Upgrade to a tankless today and never be left without hot water again. Rely on Maxwell White, plumbing done right.
Yeah, we definitely are getting back, and more snow and cold definitely is winter pattern in early February that we just didn't see too much in January. We're definitely going to pick up some snow here and have a pretty healthy snowpack for the entire area, I think, by the time this point next week, too. So we still got that light snow for areas. We're already starting to see it kind of to Preston along I-90, further south towards Decorah. We're starting to see that spread eastward, even though Winona's gotten a little bit of light snow, too. I think that'll be furthest north it'll probably get, more towards south of the area to about midnight. Tomorrow, definitely dry and very cold. Some areas up to north, very cold start, or even bitterly cold start to Tuesday, but there will be plenty of sunshine on Tuesday. And then the next chance of snow, which looks like accumulating and could provide some travel impacts, especially further south you go, that'd be later Wednesday and Wednesday night. That event we'll have to keep an eye on, especially the amounts on that are continuing to rise. But for the ones tonight, only look at generally about 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches. So the snow rates will be very low, somewhat like we saw a little bit for Saturday. So some of the side roads, the less traveled roads, probably going to get a little slushy, a little snow as this progresses. It should be mostly over by midnight, so this accumulation is pretty much through about midnight as it kind of sinks further south. But still, if you're out and about tonight, you will see that, so be advised for travel conditions. The Wednesday event, this still has a lot of refinement to go with it, and the path of this still could change, but it looks like further south you go, heavier amounts of snow, 4 to 8, potentially south La Crosse. This could expand further south. As you go towards southeast Wisconsin, we're confident they could get even higher amounts too with this track. So further north you go, really tapers off too. So this could change, but something to keep in mind. We'll track this more. Now for the headlines right now, the only advisories out for tonight are further west towards Mason City. That's where they could probably pick up maybe 3 inches. Otherwise, the watch is out further to the southeast of Wisconsin, but I think we will see some of this watch or advisory or something like that in nature come probably later tomorrow, given this event too is going on. So stay tuned for that. For the one tonight, as I mentioned, really it's about Winona further south, and that's all about farther north it's going to get as it kind of holds together as it pushes further to the east. So between about 8 to 10, that may be where the peak amounts of snow will occur for La Crosse, probably toward Viroqua. If you go further south, probably more 10 to midnight for areas towards the Wisconsin River. Further north, cloud cover will start decreasing after midnight. That's going to be really allowing the temperatures to fall very quickly. In fact, they could be 15 to 20 below up towards Rusk County in those areas to start off. So it's going to be a cold start for a lot of areas. We'll see clearing skies for La Crosse potentially by sunrise. Plenty of sun to start off, but it's going to be cold on this time, and that's what we're going to look at. Now, for the event coming Wednesday, it looks like Wednesday morning commute, I think, will be okay. It'll be towards the noon. We'll start seeing a little bit of snow spread across the area, maybe get to I-94. Towards the evening, it's going to kind of sit right through this area, and this could shift either way, but then towards the evening hour, I think it may expand across the entire area, so I think the most snow will probably be in the afternoon through early evening, and then by the time we get to midnight, it pushes off fairly quickly, so it won't be an impact for Thursday, but something to keep in mind of. Tomorrow we got wind chills to deal with too. Tomorrow's highs definitely going to be cold. That's the one thing going on. Wednesday, a little bit warmer before the snow comes in, but still cold temperatures, and that's really the theme beyond the snow and the 8-day forecast is the cold temperatures, potentially many areas being 15 to 20 below at night, depending on cloud cover. So we got a couple snow events to monitor along with the Wednesday one. Don't take your eye out Friday and Friday night too for more snow too. So like I said, this point next week we could have a 8, 10.
Wow.
We could have quite a nice snowpack in the area right now that we haven't seen obviously in January at all.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see how it all unfolds.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg. Coming up next in sports, back on the rise. The Badgers moving up the rankings after a perfect week, plus a special tribute to Mr. Baseball himself this season, courtesy of the Brewers organization. Jacob is next.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
In the hunt, every detail matters. It's not just about the thrill, but a passion for the craft. And in the end, it's about the people you get to be with. At Overhead Door, it's about our team and those we get to serve. We can repair any garage door, but we only install the best. Overhead Door Company of the Seven Rivers region since 1921.
T-Mobile is very reliable.
It's always nice to know that T-Mobile has us covered.
I love the fact that my family and I, we can stay connected just about anywhere we want to go.
My network is my lifeline.
T-Mobile keeps you connected on America's largest and fastest 5G network. And right now, get 4 free smartphones and 4 lines for $25 per line when you switch.
It's better over here. As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made a most noble sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat or power again. 833-WIS-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
Covering all the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports with Jacob Lenzendorf.
A couple double-digit conference victories have the Badger men's basketball team moving back up in the latest AP rankings as they find themselves now on the fringe of the top 15. Wisconsin took down Indiana by 12 at home and used a big second half to get past Iowa on Saturday to improve to 19-5 on the season. Some bracketology experts have UW tabbed around the 3 or 4 seed for the NCAA tournament, which begins in 38 days. Badgers will take on number 7 Purdue on the road on Saturday at noon right here on News 8 for their lone game of the week. Well, if you're watching Brewer games this upcoming season, you might notice this patch on the sleeve of their uniform. It's to commemorate the life of the great Bob Uecker, who passed away almost a month ago. The patch includes his signature and a ring of plaid, which is a nod to the colorful sport coats that he wore on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and his Miller Lite commercials. The team also says it's one of the many steps to honor Ueck this season, including a public celebration at AmFam Field sometime this summer. A similar tribute to a baseball legend that passed within the last year, this one closer to home. An announcement was made that the Cooley Legion League in the summer will now go by Pete Swanson Cooley Region American Legion Baseball League, and the number 26 will also be retired league-wide. Swanson won over 1,800 games and almost 50 years of coaching with Viroqua. And how about it? Last night, Super Bowl 59, the Eagles left no doubt as to who was the better team as Philadelphia won 40-22. Here are some of the reactions from those passionate fans in Philly during the win and after the win as well. Streets packed in the city of brotherly love. It was the second Super Bowl in 8 years for the Eagles, thanks to A fumble lost by Patrick Mahomes and a couple interceptions, including one from former Badger Zach Bond as well. So, guys, the Packers remain the only team with 3 NFL championships in a row.
Love it.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Well-deserved celebrations they're having.
Next order of business, we want to thank everyone at home for playing along with the News 8 Sports Pick'em this year. It was a lot of fun. This is how it shook out. Cade took the Eagles. Emily took the Chiefs, so Cade wins. It was that close.
That's what separated it.
Me and Ken tied.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun this year, and we have a couple winners as well, tied out of everybody from our area. Trina Shaner of Viroqua and Lori Johnson of La Crosse, top point scorers with 220. So
nice.
220. Much better than us.
Much better than us.
Much better than us.
Y'all know what y'all were doing.
Yes, a lot of fun though.
It made it a lot of fun this season. Like so fun to be part of it.
Good stuff.
Redemption tour next year.
I'm coming.
All right, Greg has a final look at your forecast right after this.
Welcome to Luther High School. We'd like to give you a glimpse into what your child will experience here. Smaller class sizes, focusing on their needs. Exploration of the arts. Students working together. At Luther High School, you'll find a community building a foundation for the future and a family for life. For more information or to schedule a visit, go to lutherhigh.org or find us on Facebook at We Love Luther.
As head of criminal appeals, Susan Crawford had one job: keep a convicted rapist behind bars. Yet Crawford didn't bother filing the appeal in time, letting the rapist walk free. The victim, already scarred beyond measure, called Crawford's negligence utterly disgusting. Traumatized by Crawford's disregard for justice, her criminal coddling record is an injustice to us all.
All right, there's your snow amounts for this evening. Generally, Winona further south is where you're going to get the snow. Could be some slick spots out there throughout about midnight. Otherwise, cold Tuesday, and watch out for the snow coming Wednesday afternoon or evening. We'll keep an eye on that. And even Valentine's, we have more snow too. So other than that, cold. That's probably the other story to say.
Cold.
The whole week.
Very cold.
Very cold.
Yeah. Bundle up, everybody.
Yeah, but wear your red sweaters and all your pink too this week. All right, thank you for joining